Hey everyone, welcome back to this week's first video. I wanted to summarize some of my previous plays, and then baked into this video, I want to have some really important kind of education and lessons for you all because, guys, it's not about being a successful trader, is not about getting every macro prediction 100% accurate. I mean, ideally, you want a high win rate, of course, but it's about knowing when you're wrong and being able to get out and pivot in the right direction that the market is going. You don't want to be fighting downstream, right? So if you want to see, I remember when I was doing whitewater rapids, and the instructor said if you ever get knocked out of the boat, you don't fight the current. Let it take you downstream, and if you hit some rocks, just see it as a rock massage, and it will spit you out the other end almost without exception. And that's a lesson for life, and it also, because trading is a part of life. If you're a trader, it's also a very important lesson for trading. And I had this lesson brought to me this week when virtually all of the positions that I brought to you last week were invalidated. So of course, the first week I start YouTubing and trying to flex and show off my chops as a trader. None of them work out. So, guys, I'm keeping this honest. I'm not here to cherry pick the wins, right? I report my plays in real time. If they work, you'll find out. If they don't work, I tell you what happened and what I did with the trade. And listen, I'm all about, and I say this every day, if not every other day in my channel, the Parker's Money team. I tell my team, guys, it's about grape size losses and watermelon size wins. So going into the chart, let's just get right into it. We can see oil broke down. So that gives you an idea that the market has officially regained its bullish posture. It doesn't mean oil is not going to catch a bid. It's already getting, since it could still go lower until we get oversold. But we will get bounces along the way with crude, which will drop the market. But in the short to medium term, I would say definitely in the short term, meaning maybe a week or two, the market. I mean, it doesn't take. I'm not breaking news here. We're at all time highs. The market has had a spectacular V-shaped recovery. It exceeded my expectations, and I had to tell. This is always hard, right? You're running a Discord. People are paying for your membership. This is why the best traders are humble, and trading always humbles me because I have to have these days where I come out and say, guys, I just got this wrong. I was right for 3/4 of my prediction, but that last quarter of the market going even lower, it just didn't happen. At least for now, I don't think we're done correcting in the market, but I'm going to leave that for another video. I want to talk about the plays that didn't work out first. Let's just get that out of the way really quick. So Wolf, we took an L on Wolf. Very responsible loss. We got in about here, so our average was beautiful. But we had this great topping tail, guys. I mean, we were the smart ones until Monday at 10 a.m. I kept saying that in the Discord, guys. And the futures just reversed. Had a beautiful reversal. We invalidated the topping tail with the close above the previous high. And I said, guys, I'm out. So I took an 8% loss on Wolf. Guys, I'm not gonna lose my account on an 8% loss, even with a decent position size. So I took the loss on Wolf, took the loss on Cypher. Again, all the entries were good, but I don't stick around and do hopium in trades like this. I got in here, we broke above, I stopped out, we went even higher, we came back in. This is confirmed a breakout. This did end up being a falling wedge pattern, so that was the risk. But like I always say, I respect resistance until proven otherwise, and it proved otherwise. So you just move on. That the risk to reward was beautiful. I stand by it. It just didn't hold. It held every other time, but we had hit resistance for what, 5 or 6 times. It was due to break, and it did. So I take a small loss and I move on. I'm actually going to be looking to go long on Cypher in the coming days, but that's for another video. I've got some other hot plays I want to get into. Bitcoin, there's so much to say about Bitcoin. I'm not hiding from it, guys. I am aware that it's at 75,000 now. I will save that for another video because I have too much to talk about today. I have too many plays that I have on the go. A lot of good news out of all this, and I want to get to it, and I don't want this video to be too long. So we got a lot wrong. Monday was not a good day for me and my money team. We all were red, okay? We were green in the morning for 30 minutes, and then everything reversed, and we got stopped out in some loss. Had we been a little bit more tighter with our stops, we would have been out in break even, but I wanted to see if the market would flush, and it just held. And that was the signal. I did a live stream that night after market close. Everyone was upset. I did a live stream and I said, guys, we're about to have a huge move up in the market. Yes, we're up 7%. We're going to go even higher. I was very vocal about that. I said, Bitcoin wants to go to 79,000. I did it right away, and the next day we gapped up in Bitcoin, we gapped up in the market, and as of today, we made so much money on our calls. And you guys don't need to hear me. You can go into the Discord. I'll try to, maybe in a future video, the next video meeting, I'll share some screenshots, some testimonials. I don't have time to do it right now, but we had just win after win after win today. And and guys, we're talking 30-50% wins in a day on this bullish move in the market, replenished all of our losses and then some. So we're deep in the money. We took risk to the upside when it made sense. If you got in even earlier and you trusted the move in the market, congratulations. But we played this well. So what I can tell you is, on the bad days, I'm always going to be there. If you're in the Discord, I will always come out and say, if the technicals have changed, I will let you know, and we'll get out of the position. And I'll tell you right away before any losses worsen. And then also, if we're having a bad day but nothing's broken, I'll come out and say that too, and just to hold the line. There's a fine line, and it takes a skilled trader to notice the difference and not bring your emotions in and negotiate not selling because you just don't want to take a loss. You feel like it will come down if you sell after. That's not what a seasoned trader does. So, we decided to get out of our puts. We rotated into calls, and no one's upset now, guys. We have replenished. My account is back way in the positive from where it was last week. All is well with the world. But yes, Wolf, Cypher, of course, Intel, guys. I told you I'd come out regardless. I got stopped out of this trade at 63.50. Very tight stop. It ripped right up as soon as my stop got kicked. We came back, and guys, I had so many people saying to me, "Oh, now Intel's coming in," and I said, "Guys, this is trading emotionally. This confirmed a breakout. All it was doing was turning this into support. So if you're shorting Intel right now, I would implore you to consider your position. I mean, there's always a small chance this is a fake out, but this is a confirmed breakout. So Intel could go to $70 by earnings, and I'll revisit the puts then. All of my plays that I've sold, the puts at a loss, I could reshort them at better premiums now. So guys, zero regrets. I'm not going to get everything right, but when I know that I'm wrong, I end up being, it's usually I'm not selling and then the price reverses. Like, everything is very calculated with me, guys. So we went into calls for the last couple, really today and yesterday. We started accumulating. We started accumulating Uber yesterday. And guys, what I'm doing is, when everyone's chasing the shiny diamond, like the memory chips right now, and Micron and SanDisk and these high flyers, we were in the money team live trading yesterday. We didn't, there wasn't a lot of volatility we wanted to capture. So I just said, hey guys, Uber's at $72. Let's just get into this thing. I mean, they got earnings in 3 weeks. So we did Uber. And I was saying with Uber, I mean, is there a chance we could come down here one more time? I said, yes, but I'm not willing to risk it. So I loaded the boat in some calls. I'm not going to say my position size because I don't think that's appropriate. I don't want to influence anyone, but I went in with some size right here in some September calls. I was willing to accumulate and just suffer that leverage down if we did, because my options one had time, and two, this was very high conviction, because this pattern here is called a compression pattern, and this is called the apex. So when these two lines intersect, that's called the apex right here. And I saw we were doing that, and very commonly, about 80% of the time in technical analysis, price never gets all the way to the point. That's just it's too compressed. So this was creating a bottleneck, and I said, hey guys, this could break lower. It could. But I'm giving it like 80% probability this breaks to the upside, because Uber's oversold. There's nothing wrong with the company, and we're at the low of the price targets, okay? So we all got in literally here. I don't think we had any red in our phones or our computers. And then the next day it ripped. So we all made 52% on those September options. That's now, guys, an 8% loss on Wolf versus a 52% gain. So let's just do dollar for dollar, one contract for one contract. If I have $1,000, just throwing a number out there, on Wolf, and I take now an what is that, an $80 loss, versus $1,000 on Uber, and that's now $500. So you see how this game is played, guys. You want to stay right and stay right longer, but when you're wrong, you don't want to stay wrong long, right? Because that's how you blow up your account. And guys, I've blown up my account. I've done this when I started out. I was stubborn in trades. My ego got in the way. You got to get rid of the ego. Ego is not your amigo in trading. When you know you're wrong and you see that you're wrong, you have to pivot, and you have to pivot quickly. You got to be nimble in this business, guys. This is why the real, I don't want to say the best, but the real traders out there who are doing this full time are the most humble people you'll meet. And I know I put on some flash here and there, but guys, when I'm wrong, I'm not afraid to say it. I'll come out because this is our money here. This is not about, we're not doing a what measuring contest here. So Uber was the first play I wanted to talk about. Now, full disclosure, I took profits and I told everyone in the money team today, guys, I'm out 52%. Thank you very much. I'm not meddling with that after a 1-day move. I would look to get back in on Uber. If we did a classic retrace to the scene of the crime down here, it would happen quickly because this line is going to, again, intersect within the next 2.5 weeks. So if we came down to $72 to $73, I would be a buyer of Uber. I want to be clear. I'm not 100% sure we're going to get there, but there's other trades to look at in the meantime. Speaking of other trades, guys, I mean, this was, this is a mic drop moment. I called Hims today, and guys, I have been pestered with love from the Discord about, hey, when are we buying Hims? Are you buying Hims? And I said, guys, this thing has been doing nothing but go down for 4 months. Let it come to you. Let it, you don't want to be chasing these dogs, right? Let the technicals present. Let you want to experience a change of character in the charts. And I know how to detect that through my trend lines. So today I just was looking at Hims, perusing the chart, and I saw, actually this line was down here originally. I went to this lower line. I said, whoa, we have a break of what? Historic resistance. I don't mess around. My technicals, guys, I tell you, when I'm wrong, my technicals will tell me I'm wrong and I'll get out. And the trade always got a lot worse after I get out, almost always. And when I see a move about to take off, guys, you could have been buying the dip, dollar cost average. It's only a loss if you sell. You could have been doing this all the way down, bleeding out your account. Guys, I sat this one out. I took a small loss way up here on Hims when it was in an uptrend. I got out. The charts told me to exit. It went down like 60%. And I literally got in for the first time today, since like 4 months ago. And I'm not joking, guys. 2 hours after I alerted to everyone, my money team in the general stocks with Josh Discord, this thing ripped. Okay. I got into some leap options. They're up 30%. As you can see in the after hours, Hims is gapping up. Now, I want to talk about Hims. I want to give just a little bit of time to this because, everyone needs to pay attention. If you were in short-term options, I don't blame you for taking profits on Hims tomorrow, okay? But I want to caution people from getting out too early on this trade, and I'm going to tell you why. Now, I'm in leaps, so if this pulls back a little bit, I'm going to be fine. I got I got till January 2027 on my leaps. They're almost in the money. I think it's a $25 strike. So I can afford a downtrend. The decay will not be an issue until October of this year. But I want to point to a very clear, if you're a pattern trader like I am, this is a rounded bottom. Okay? And some would call it a cup and handle. It's not a cup and handle. Cup and handles actually happen after an initial uptrend. They base out, they descend, and then they rip. That's a cup and handle. This is a rounded bottom. It's occurring at the bottom of a downtrend on major historic, look at this, historic support. So that's another factor of confluence. And we broke this descending channel, and we've got a neckline at 27.50. So guys, this trade isn't even really invalidated until we test that neckline. So I think minimum we're going here. I don't see why we wouldn't. Price is going to be a magnet for 27.50. We might even get there this week. Okay, so I'm not selling a fraction of my Hims. Okay, I don't even know if I'll set a stop loss right now because this thing is so oversold. We're not close. We're not even over. We're just getting a cross up on the MACD. I'm gonna take the MACD off here just to keep it simple, but it's looking really good. If we were to get over 27.50 and confirm a weekly candle, this has potential to go to $40. Now, I don't want people to hear that that's a guarantee. All I'm saying is if this gets above, this is the neckline on the rounded bottom. If this gets above 27.50 and confirms with 2 daily candles or preferably a weekly candle with follow through, this thing is going to absolutely rip. So, I'm not going to sell this too soon. We're not buying Hims up here at $50 when the risk to reward isn't there. This thing is beaten down, and Hims will do its own thing. Even if the market sells off, which it very well could over the next few days, if we have some earnings misses in the Mag 7, very possible. This thing will just be like, it'll just be doing its own. It'll be just rabid. Because Hims was like, the market was actually doing pretty well while Hims did all this. So Hims was a dog, was underperforming the market by in spades. And now, even if we see pressure in the market, this will get money will flow into Hims, because I tell you, every trader's watching this level right now. So Hims is really exciting. I got in at the bottom here today. I told everyone up at 2180, we had a little dip, and I said to everyone that we were in a bullish megaphone pattern, and I'm going to do this for you guys in real time. I got rid of my trend lines. I'm going to draw them again for you in this video. But I was charting, and I said, okay, this is an ascending line of resistance followed by a descending line of support. This is called a bullish megaphone pattern because it does this pattern like a megaphone. And we broke it. We confirmed with this candle, and I said, oh, we're clearly going to come back down because this was a short-term rejection candle. So I bought here. I said, yeah, it's probably going down to 2145. I told everyone to add to your position down here. We did. It went to 2138, and then it ripped. It's just, and look at the volume, guys. I mean, you don't want to mess. You don't want to be selling this one too soon, okay? I mean, I went in with size today on Hims, so I'm going to leave it at that. I don't know if I'll take any off the table tomorrow. I am sort of being greedy with it. I want to see that neckline get hit. I might put a stop in maybe around this high if we flush. But this could come down tomorrow if we get a bit of profit taking, and I don't want to panic sell leap options. They've got plenty of time to them. So guys, Hims, literally, if you took this trade and you had a down day on Monday because of my plays, you are so deep in the money, it's not even funny. If you took short-term options, which I wouldn't really approve of, but if you did, I had someone who messaged me today saying they were up 400% on Hims. That's insane. I don't really endorse short-term options, but if you knew what you were doing and you had a stop loss, congratulations, okay? So that's the first play I want to go in. I'm bullish on Hims. I got in at the bottom, or the local bottom, and we're going to ride this one up and see where it takes us. I don't think I'm going to add to the position because I don't like averaging up into options. I only average down into high conviction setups. That's play number one. Play number two. While everyone is sleeping on ASTS, guys, I'm loading the boat on this. I'm loading the boat. So we'll see what happens. It was a tough day at first for my portfolio because this thing kind of flushed and then it recovered. We actually traded this. We day traded some calls because there was a falling wedge pattern on the 20-minute. We said, guys, this should bottom at 84.50. Let it get there. Enter some calls. We wrote it up about $1. Got out. It went even higher. So ASTS, I want to point, this candle, obviously the volume's not great. It's not at the top of a chart though, so it doesn't bother me too much. No, not too surprised to get another down day given this ugly candle. So we got that down day today. Worst case, we could come down one more time. I'm in pretty heavy right now. I don't think I would add to it. I would just ride it out right now. I'm in leap options, so they have plenty of time. This is a wedge pattern. We have lower highs and falling lows, okay? That's sort of like what Cypher was doing. This broke. What's interesting? I'm seeing this for the first time. This actually never technically confirmed because it never closed above the high. So that's a slight bear case for ASTS. We don't actually have full confirmation, but what we need to see is this gets respected as support. It already has once, twice, and 3 times. So I see no reason why ASTS is going to go any lower than $83. They report in a month. Usually when in earnings season, a stock gets a nice bid about 3 to 4 weeks before they report. This thing had blowout earnings. The fourth quarter 2025 earnings just blew it away. The downward pressure is Amazon, I think, bought Global Star, which is a peer of ASTS. They got sold into, and then for me as a contrarian trader, I go, okay, fade Amazon because that's probably sell the news. I'll just stomach this for a couple days, and this should rip. In maybe a couple days, if worst case next week. I would be shocked if this trade doesn't work out. But you never know. If market really unwinds for what we get some massive profit taking, ASTS could fall. But I mean, the market's been pumping for 2 straight days now. Every day this week has been up over 1% in the NASDAQ. This thing's been selling off. So I'm going to long that weakness because this is not a bad company, guys. ASTS is a winning trade, a winning play. It's made a lot of people wealthy. And I've never really benefited truly from the ASTS trade as much as I should have. So I'm going to take advantage of this falling wedge pattern. These are bullish. and they normally break to the upside. So even though we don't have confirmation, we still have like 65 to 70% chance this is going to play out. So I'll take risk in that. So those are the two trades I wanted to point to. We've got a lot of upside here. This, if we do a measured move, take this low, go to this swing high, go to, if we want to be conservative, we'll go to this break, this retest. We're right at the all-time high at 130. So if you're in leaps, that's about 100% move, depending on how quickly it gets there. It's just worth taking risk. If we don't get a move in the next 2 weeks, this thing's probably not going to go where it's supposed to go. So we should know within a few days if this is going to rebound, because, you should only test support so many times, because if it keeps testing and testing and testing and testing, this is getting weaker and weaker and weaker, and I'd start to get nervous. So I want to see this start to rip in soon. So those are the two plays we're in. The ASTS is still cooking right now because it's in accumulation. I've been buying it while everyone's, chasing Amazon, chasing Meta, which, don't get me wrong, had good moves, but I'd be nuts to buy Microsoft or Meta at these levels. I missed it. I just accept it. And there's always another trade. We already got Hims. We got Uber. We got DoorDash was another one I alerted. We got, I even did a small position. I mentioned this in the live trading, but I didn't actually make it a big deal in the general Discord because it was a small position, but we did IBM. I think IBM, I did take profit on that. It was a small position. I'm looking to maybe get back into this if we can back test 240, 240-ish, somewhere around here. If we just check back a little bit, this looks like it's flagging for a break above this structure. This thing is way beaten down. We've got earnings in a week, so we should get a pretty good move in this, potentially up to 260. Is sort of where I'd be looking to take profit on this, to 260 to 265. But this has come down a lot, and IBM, there's nothing wrong with. They had great earnings, and then it just dumped. But it seems to be, rebuilding structure and potentially in this another kind of falling wedge pattern for a reversal. So that's kind of what I'm looking at. Those are the plays that are top of mind. I like Hims. I like ASTS. We took profits on Uber. I want to also mention that I was wrong shorting Mara for now. I think there's going to be an entry later. But I told everyone in the money team today at the bottom, I said, hey guys, all we're doing today is retesting the top of this bear flag that was invalidated because we had a fake down. A fake down would be, we confirmed with this candle, we retested, which should have rejected. Guys, I'm telling you, that's 70% probability that at least that rejects. It didn't, which is Bitcoin making a statement. It got back into the flag. It got above previous resistance, and now it retested. Hasn't confirmed, but it's retesting. It should hold. Stop loss probably around, technically it should be here if it broke. This is support. So probably somewhere around 950 you'd want to get out of the trade. This could easily go, minimum 1150. We got 1290 here. And then this underbelly around 1450. And I would be looking to get out of Mara at that point because I think Bitcoin is going to be going lower later in the year. That's for another video. But in the short term, will I take some risk in Mara? I think so, because it's beaten down. The RSI is now above 60 again. It looks like it wants to push up a little higher. And guys, if this thing wants to move, it can rip 50% in a week, no problem. And I'll be taking profits on the way up. And clear with a clear exit. I like trades where there's a clear entry. I can accumulate aggressively on a key area, save a little bit of powder if we get a scam wick, and then I have my stop pretty tight. So it's only like a 10% loss if we get down here. I'm not holding if we go any lower. But I think Bitcoin is going higher over the next, maybe the next week. So I'm going to park that because that's for another video. So these are the things that, the lesson of today is it's okay to be wrong, guys. I'm going to be wrong again. It happens. It's about getting that 70 to 80% win rate if you can do it as a trader, and then also knowing when you're wrong and refusing to stay wrong, because that's going to save your account from any big drawdowns. And I can tell you, we started off the week down, and now I'm way back in profit as of today because of just trading the market correctly, not fighting the current, seeing that, we had broken resistance. And when you break resistance, you just tend to go to the next level of resistance, or as the market has shown today, we're in price discovery at new all-time highs. So kudos to the market. I'm going to talk about the SPY in the next video along with Bitcoin and where I see the market going, because I think I have a pretty good grasp now of what's going to happen in the market. The divergence that I was seeing was, why is oil clearly about to roll over, but Bitcoin I thought was about to roll over. So that was always a bit of a confusing point I had in my head, and now it seemed like it's worked itself out. So I'm okay with that. You live and learn. I followed my disciplines. We did everything correctly, and everyone has replenished their accounts and then some today. So I call this a winning week. It's been great. We're going to see what happens tomorrow. We could easily have a pullback over the next few days. Don't be surprised, especially if we start to see some earnings misses or we sell the news on a few of the Mag 7 that have run hot. Wouldn't surprise me to see some chop to the downside, but I'm positioned in things that have come down a lot. The market, they're reporting in a month out. So even if we see pressure, these things could still go up and run inverse to the market, because money doesn't just disappear when the market goes down. It goes into other industries, other sectors. I also want to talk about Walmart, but I'm going to save that for another video. I haven't alerted it yet in my money team. I'm going to be discussing it tomorrow and offering TA in our live trading that I'm doing at 10 a.m., which I offer exclusively in the money team. So that's all I wanted to share with you guys for now. Happy trading. Go out there and kill it, guys. This is a great market right now. Lots of volatility. Puts and calls, you can make money either way. And there's going to be a really good opportunity to get back into these puts. But in the meantime, I'm just going to stay patient and stay focused. And that's all you can do. So until then, cheerio.